5. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Saurus, I hate you.
This episode is brought to you by Mod Mike. Mod Mike 5. Go check it out. Exclamation point Antlion in chat. Yeah. Wow. No, please continue your conversation.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
so
Well, we
continue
might as
talking
well.
about Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah,
So guys, if you've heard about the bad facial animations and the bad story writing or whatever, whether actually the story's pretty good apparently, just ignore the facial animations and just read the text instead. That's what type says. Read the subtitles.
Oh, I just read the subtitles.
Yeah, they still say the stupidest shit ever.
I don't know. So
these aliens don't understand us. I wonder why that is. Oh, do you think that maybe this could be a storm? I don't know. Or maybe it could just be the natural atmosphere. I don't know. I'm just going to guess everything. Oh, it got under my skin so much. So much.
I think the story is cool. So,
but that's what also coming from a fan.
What has Torque been up to? He's been playing Mass Effect, and I really like it. I just, kind of expected the cringy stuff because everyone said that it was a thing. And I looked past it, and I think the story, the overarching story of it's pretty cool and pretty relevant to, where we are today in the world, where it's like, we might do an expedition to Mars. This is sort of similar to that, but in the future. I think it's pretty cool.
If you hadn't played the other Mass Effect games, would you still be enjoying this?
If I just came into it as a new game?
New game.
Maybe.
You're a 20-year-old high tech super fast gamer.
No, probably not. Yeah, maybe not. I don't think I think I said this earlier. I think this game's somewhat of a disgrace to the series, but
to the series.
It is. It kind of is. So
I'm looking forward to playing it tomorrow because I haven't played it yet. I've got really low expectations now, which is great.
Yeah. I made Trixie though. I mean, if the facial animations are gonna look bad, you might as well play as Trixie, right? And just make your face look bad too. So.
I think some people like you as Trixie. Lol. What else, Twek? Anything else?
No, that's really been it. My work schedule's awful. I haven't been sleeping, so I've been really, really struggling with that, and that's really been it. Yeah. So I'm just trying. So I think I'm gonna take melatonin every day when I didn't. Just trying not to. So we'll see.
Yeah. What about yourself, Bored?
Oh, hello. I'm Boredgamer. You may remember me from such YouTube series as the ones you watch on YouTube. I've been I'm having a bit of a quite happy manic episode today, as you can probably tell.
Yay!
Woo! But it's the thing with mania and bipolar. People talk about the shit stuff normally.
Yeah.
The good stuff is fucking great. So
highs are highs and highs are really high and lows are really low.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to get those highs at quite a lot of the time. So I have been playing some Star Citizen. I've been trying to get because I was on some meds that made my reactions slower. So I've been actually trying to play video games that require Star Marine and CS:GO and Rust and stuff like that, and actually fighting, so that I can actually practice moving and aiming again at a higher rate. My brain is slower. And it's really annoying when you can see someone, you know that you can, you're pulling towards their head and you know they're going to hit you before you can hit them because you're literally slower than that. Oh, it's weird. It's a weird thing. But my YouTube channel has exploded recently because of, I don't really know why. I've done a couple of good videos or a couple of videos that were relevant.
Are you still an animal channel?
I'm not an animal channel anymore.
Maybe that's why.
And it's happened at similar times.
That's probably why.
Yeah, I think my SEO has kind of switched over. And a couple of my videos have just exploded. So thank you very much for watching. Much appreciated. And yeah, I've just been doing lots of Star Citizen stuff, playing lots of Star Citizen, getting loads of cool pictures and things for Star Citizen, trying to get myself a track IR and to get the new Ryzen CPUs, and I'm just getting a new 1080 Ti, and I've been arranging what I'm doing for BritizenCon and Insomnia, which are coming next month.
Oh, it's that time of year, huh?
Yeah, it's lots of organisation to be doing. I also need to do my accounts at some point because April in the UK is when we have to do all our accountancy stuff.
Oh, I have to do that too. Yeah.
Is that in America as well around the same time?
April 15th is the last day.
Okay, so it's financial year stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's basically what I've been doing. I mean, we're talking in a minute because we can announce about 2.6.2. Can we say stuff about it?
Yeah. Well, the stuff that we talked about.
Yeah. So
I don't think there's much more than that, though.
We can say that's an Evocati.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a patch.
There's a patch coming.
There's a patch.
Yeah.
I doubt it will be the live build that they want on Thursday, the 23rd, because that's tomorrow. But it's a possibility.
Well, you never know. Yeah, like you never know. I don't think this patch has like a massive amount of stuff. So if they don't come into a massive amount of bugs, then why not? You know.
Well, we'll hold this conversation actually until we've asked Saurus. What Saurus? What have you been doing?
I've been up to stuff.
Yeah.
The end. So
all right, moving on.
Moving on. No, no, I don't. People think I talk too much. So, we are gonna go into this. Before we get into that, get into the news and stuff like that. If anybody has a question, question in chat. Get your questions in through there, and we will go through those as quickly as possible. These podcasts are going to be short because Stork needs to get out of here exactly at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and that's my fault now because my work schedule's changed, and I need to leave at the 2-hour mark of the podcast in the future.
Maybe we should just, when we talk about us, we should just condense it down into 2 minutes. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, I've been doing this, like Source Streamhouse, I've been working on, boom, done, and then we move on to Star Citizen stuff. I think that's what we'll probably do in the future and cut this section down, and then we can get to more questions at the end. And
so Source, what you been up to? 60 seconds, dude, come on.
Yeah. 262 is due soon. More is likely next week. Right now it is with the Evocati. I didn't know it was with the Evocati. I don't know how many patches in with Evocati they're in, but whatever. And we also know that Track IR is back. I've also seen on Reddit that the Buccaneer is in.
Woo!
It looks cool. I don't know how I feel about the cockpit view.
And we can confirm, like, from CIG that the Buccaneer's in. I asked before the podcast if it was something that was okay, and they said it's all good.
Yeah, people have seen it. People have bug reported it. Yeah, it's certainly a Buccaneer in that patch, which is cool because it was like semi-surprise ship. I mean, we kind of knew that a lot of those ships are already, like the Dragonfly and the Aquila and the Buccaneer, and we've seen like the Cutlass reworks shaping up and stuff like that. So we know a lot of these ships are ready or near ready.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just been pushed into a flight-ready state for that patch. They will not actually make a live build, we don't know.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's the thing, is everything that's in Evocati, there's always a chance that it might not make it into the live build if it
have a
causes
question.
a significant amount of issues.
You guys can't really answer it.
We might be able to.
We might be able to.
You're not going to be able to, because I was going to say, is there anything that's gone into an Evocati that's never made it into a live build?
Yeah.
There's stuff that's gone into PTU builds. Well, there's definitely stuff in Evocati builds that haven't made it to live builds. But there's stuff that's gone to PTU, like mega map and serialized variable stuff that wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Made the live build.
Yeah, and that's happened a few times. I mean, I think you can answer it because now that we have the schedule report, you see that things are scheduled, and then like the serialized variable didn't make it in, right?
Yeah,
in the last one. So it's open and it's not anything that we couldn't talk about. I mean, I haven't downloaded the Evocati build yet, so I don't even know I haven't even played this one just because of where I've been with work.
Yeah, I don't know, Bort, if you want to take over with the ATV stuff.
Oh, now I've got the alt tab.
Out of your video game?
Damn you. I was, I wasn't playing a video game. I was maintaining my base in Rust.
That's playing a video game.
Whoa. It's like a job. It's like a full-time job. Okay, so I don't know. I kind of want to start with the end of ATV before the beginning of ATV.
I would too.
I just want to say that do any of you disagree with me saying this is the best ATV ever?
Yes.
I won't say that. I don't know, but I can say that the last few ATVs have been on point.
Yeah.
Now, I feel the opposite, though. I feel like, why did you put that in at the end? No, I know I want them to show. Okay, I want them to show things, but why wouldn't you wait until next week to show that? In
What
the
do you mean?
sense that, like, give it a little bit, give it its own, like the ships, give them their own section.
Nah, get it. If
Like,
it's ready to show it, show it.
Just throw them out there for 2
Yeah.
seconds and then boom, done.
So
like,
I think the idea
because here's the thing: is you're gonna hate the next three ATVs.
How do you know that?
Because well, I'm just saying I don't, but this has been I do though. But from history, the UK studio blows their load and shows all the most awesome stuff, and then for the next 3 weeks, it's kind of like, well, that wasn't as good as the UK episode.
Well,
and
they
then
already
we're just
announced
like,
what the
"Meh."
next ATV is going to be about.
What is it about?
Right, which is there's the Cutlass rework. I don't remember what the notes were because there's the ATV and the RTV. The next happy hour is the community building a game mechanic from scratch, which I'm really excited about. That was the big thing that I saw. But they also said what was going to be in the next ATV, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm looking forward to that.
So I've put a note on the document that says happy hour is great when it's a dev special like Spider Crotch and what you've just described. Like, that's a dev special. It's probably going to be absolutely great. But it is otherwise lame. Please bring back RTV and do these occasional dev specials.
Or no, just do dev specials all the time.
I love them.
I love them, but I don't know if you can take dev time. Like,
well, it's not taking away dev
happy
time.
Hour.
That's not taking away dev time. If you take the artist that builds bushes and you build a bush on stream, awesome.
Yeah.
If you take the artist that makes a fucking whatever, anything. It could be a fucking rock.
Make hanger flare. Make a door. Make lighting.
Because then you're not taking them away from work, and you're showing that stuff as it's being built, which everybody wants to see.
And we see how we get an in-depth view of how do they make that, and it's cool. We get involved, and
that's open development.
That's open development.
That's open development more than anything that's ever been, right?
But I love the way they're doing the ATVs, which is basically rolling in the monthly report for that studio as they kind of talk. That's what it is. It's kind of merged with the monthly reports now. They talk about what the studio have been doing in depth, and then give us a little sneaky peeks, and then also do a featurette on something. So it would like be level design for this week, but it could be weapons, it could be a pipeline, it could be something. I mean, they'll probably run out of things to talk about on featurettes because there's only limited amounts.
And that's why I didn't want them to blow their load in this ATV.
But so what I'm saying,
each ship could have had its own feature.
I know from my studio tour that they haven't blown their load. I will say that.
Obviously not.
And these are great. Now, with the ship visuals, which were great, I would have liked them to not be at the end, because that was sort of like, you can tell there was something at the end because there was 5 minutes left of the video. I was thinking, is that just going to be Chris Roberts on repeat talking about how I can
or just black screen?
Or just black screen, yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake, just an end title screen or something. But we saw the Razor in like near end grey box.
Some of its animations.
They're in animations already.
The Hull C didn't look as finished as I thought it would, but I
don't think we knew that we were working on it. Like the public didn't know that they were working on it. You might have known because you had taken a tour to the studio, but the average person didn't know. Like, I had no idea. And out of all the things in the episode, that was my favorite.
The Reclaimer, easy.
That was the Hull C was my favorite because the Reclaimer, we knew it was being worked on, so I was kind of, I guess it was like, oh yeah, the Reclaimer, but then I had no idea about the Hull C, and like we knew that they were bringing in cargo in 3.0, and like we have some cargo ships, but we didn't have the dedicated cargo ships in the entire. These are the trucks in the game.
That's a good point.
And that's what I was like, okay, so they're really doing this now.
I would expect the Hull A and B to be done before the Hull C just because of their size, but maybe the Hull C is the gold standard for that series. So maybe that's going to be done first.
I think it's the middling one, right? It's the one that I guess it's your pickup truck or something. I don't know. Because like obviously a Hull E is like the double 18-wheeler or whatever, but yeah. So I don't know. That's what excited me. Obviously, the Reclaimer was amazing.
Oh my fucking god! Like, say, they haven't shown some of the stuff about the Reclaimer that I've seen, and I'm not sure why. Because when people see some of the cool stuff, you'll lose your shit. Like, it's
maybe
cool.
that's why. Maybe they just want to hold it for
Yeah.
the next episode. Because I do think with these ships, it should be. I would like it to be more how Soros was saying it, where we see it as it's being built. So,
but we don't want a repeat of what happened with the Caterpillar, where they showed it for 3 weeks in a row, 3 months.
no,
in a row.
not 3 weeks in a row, but here and there, like have a Caterpillar update.
The thing
and
is,
say,
if they did that with every ship,
different.
If they did that with every ship, it wouldn't be 3 weeks in a row because you'd be seeing different ships.
Yeah, I mean, look at how many they're working on in the UK, and they don't need to do the UK updates and like how they did, where the UK week is only stuff being done in the UK, so it can be every now and then. Like if they need to have somebody working full time at the UK because this is where all this stuff is happening, then they should, and they might already. I don't know. So for me personally, like we can have a ship update every week. It just shouldn't. I don't think it has to be the same ship. At least I think that that's the case.
Well,
Given
I don't
how
mind
many
it.
ships are being worked on.
I don't mind it being the same ship as long as it's different visuals. With the Caterpillar visuals they did a while ago, it was sort of like a couple of new visuals mixed in with the old ones.
Yes, that was very that was very frustrating. And then calling it a sneak peek too. Or I don't think they called it a sneak peek, but it was at the point of the episode that was a sneak peek, right? And I remember us getting very fast forward. Yeah, I remember all of us getting sort of frustrated by that. I think Soros loved it.
Well, he loves Drake, and I love the Caterpillar. It was just seeing the same thing again and again, pretty much. It was like, but the other thing that was shown there as well was the Javelin, and I think it's a Javelin probably from Squadron 42 because of the way the interior is set up, like with stuff.
Because when you buy a Javelin, you get a decommissioned one.
Now, well, I think.
It's just
you get it. I read the thing because
Bard's trying to say this without making an NDA right now. That's
okay.
When you see his eyes roll back into his head, and he's like,
I don't know if I know it anymore.
I will tell you what is public now. What is public now and on the sale page of buying a Javelin is you get a decommissioned military Javelin, and it's up to you where you want to put certain things.
I think, however, it will come outfitted so that it is at least flyable.
Yes, it's not going to not have engines. It's not going to not have engines.
Flyable.
Yes,
it won't have weapons and stuff.
It won't have the military grade things.
It might have civilian stock weapons, is what I think will probably happen with that. That makes sense.
Javelin isn't as cool as I thought it was going to be, and this is why I know this stuff is because I went into the stream and said, when the Javelin came up, I was like, damn, that must be the Squadron 42 one because of the same things that Board said. But at the same time, I really hope when we get it, it's empty because if I remember correctly, that's how they kind of sold it to us.
Yeah, they sold it as a hull, and that was it.
Yes, supposed to be stripped of all military gear.
And that's like a really cool thing for an org to have and work towards, right? And now it seems like
it's still got to work for it.
Exactly. And now it seems like it's a bit in a different direction. As somebody that runs an org, Soros, that has, I'm assuming, a few of these ships or at least one.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Because I thought that would be like a really cool thing, and that could have been
it was like our sort
station,
of
basically.
thing that we were gonna try and work towards. And I mean, that will still happen, right? Because we will be like certain loadouts and certain specs.
We'll still be upgrading it,
right? So, but starting it from base 0.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't put a lot of thought into it just because we don't even know how that ship's gonna work. Like, in terms of whether it's persistent in the game, whether we don't know how are they going to be able to fit that many people? How many people are actually going to be able to fit on the ship, right? Like how many people? So these are things I'm not trying to freak out, and I'll wait until it's closer.
Do we think there is going to be the playable mini games that we can easily play with like basketball and all that sort of shiz? Do we think that we are actually going to be able to grab a ball and chuck it into the hoop? Because
I mean, we saw.
Why would you put it there then? You know,
this is the thing. Why the pool table, and then they showed the air hockey.
Yep.
Right, like the air hockey, especially. It's like, who now after seeing that and the amount of detail they put into it, Who doesn't think we're going to get air hockey in there?
Exactly. Like, why would you put it there if we weren't going to use it? But what if they did something like this where it was there and it was just for show for a little bit, and then
yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
They work it.
Is they're going to be
they're like,
in
all right,
show,
we'll go back to it.
and then whenever they want to actually add those mechanics, so they have the extra people to work on the code for that stuff, then they'll go and do that.
Well, I just assumed it was for Squadron 42 for animations of literally crew chilling out, playing basketball in the background. That's what I originally thought.
That's actually a interesting view to take.
You'd have the NPCs playing air hockey. You'd have all of so these things might not necessarily be massively player minigamey. So I might not go to a pool table and be able to play a minigame of pool, but we might have the NPCs using that as part of their schedules if you've got an NPC crew.
That makes sense.
I would still think,
sort of disappointing, but it makes sense.
I would still think eventually those would be games within the game.
I hope so. If they do, so someone made a really good point.
Otherwise,
on,
they wouldn't
Reddit,
need to add them.
It was some people might get really, really addicted by the mini games to a level of more enjoyment than Star Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be like,
which
I
is
really
good.
like the.
Look at a game like Gwent, right? And that I mean,
they'll do that. They'll definitely have card games, surely.
They said.
I hope they have poker.
At some point.
They said they want to do poker, and
I hope they have poker. I'll be the richest fucking person in the game. It's not even gonna be funny. You guys are in trouble if they have poker.
Oh my God. Look at this guy.
It's true. It would honestly be like taking candy from a baby in most situations. There might be some people that have a clue, but the thing that I was thinking was, look at how racing came about. Racing was somebody that was just screwing around and made racing like in their free time, I believe, and then the racing. You know, I think racing was always going to be in the game, but the racing as we know it now was just somebody playing in their free time, putting rings and making this little mini game. Now, like me and Source are kind of in agreement that it might not be when the ship comes out, like basketball might not be a thing, but when somebody's bored and has some free time and maybe on their lunch hour, they might code in, you know, a 3-point shooting game where, you know, you have to fucking, you know, it's like
or
a
just
golf swing.
Just the animations and the movements. And then
get the player. Animations and the movements will
the,
probably be in.
Well, then you just get the player to do the rules. So do something like
really looking forward
allow players to hold cards. There's no rules. You can throw whatever. But you're sitting there with a group of friends, and so you all know the rules of poker, so you play poker, right? So it's not giving you the hard rules in the game.
In your head, Saurus, it's like a physics sandbox with, like in the same way that Tabletop Simulator is. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's even easier. That would be even easier because then you don't have
rules.
to enforce rules. You don't have to do all that shit. You just have to have the animations and the reactions to everything.
That's certainly an easier way of doing it. I'd like enforced rules for some
have it so you can pick up if you want to. You go over to the air hockey table, you pick up the little air hockey thing, and instead of playing with it, you can just throw it.
You just throw it at the dude.
Right?
Hey man, what are you doing?
And maybe you can also be like, I'll bet you 10 credits on this game or something like that. Too.
Yeah, and that would all be
air hockey hustler.
And that would all be in, like, it's still in the game, but a lot more freeform with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with, I guess we can almost move into. Was it this week that they showed a little bit of grabby hands?
Yeah. So
yes.
And the new interaction.
New interaction.
Let's go into the AtV like UK focused stuff.
Okay.
They've got this new player interaction system that they were showing off in a little bit more detail, where they had like guns against the wall, and you were able to pick these up and manipulate them, and the kind of blended like item system 2.0 with inner thoughts, with like a better interaction system and manipulation system that's kind of like a smoother. Kind of, I'm doing this because that's what it was doing on the screen. There's a little.
It looked very Hellion to me though. Like, pick up weapon, and it was like your arm just kind of flew past your face. Yeah.
So you see, you go up to something, you can mouse wheel exactly what you want to do with it, or pick it up at a certain angle. It will give you different options or whatever. And you can manipulate this object, turn it round, put batteries on it, take clips out if it's a gun, whatever. You go into your ship, so in your cockpit, it will give you a much better experience when kind of interacting with MFDs.
Like if you're looking at the certain things, you get different options, which we've known forever. That we've seen updates on forever. Somebody I forgot who it was, but somebody called me out on stream and was like, "No, this is new. They haven't shown us this yet." And I instantly, in a matter of 30 seconds, went to a Bug Smashers and was like, and with one click found the proper Bug Smashers and went and was like, we saw this in, what was it, like August of 2016 or something like that. Like it's been worked on for a while, and we've seen that it's been worked on.
Yeah.
So like this wasn't like a massive. This was an update to the user interaction system, but it wasn't like anything super
as long
drastic.
as that system feels good for us to use, that's kind of the main thing. Like some of these systems feel really clunky when you play them in other games. So I'm interested to see how that actually feels like when we use it. They've also replaced the old systems for setting up missions for the universe stuff. They've got lots more powerful tools for more optimized experience from the dev's point of view, and they've scaled these like mission creation tools with SolEd, which is their like macro scale universe manipulator, where they can go, this is an object container, yellow is an object container, and also there'll be missions in yellow that interact with this object container and this one over here as well, or whatever. So they can do
so
that
we'll finally have the tools to make things faster, which is.
Yeah, but also they are going to be systemic dynamic missions that are derived from what's needed in the universe. And so Saurus blows up loads of steel shipments. Steel needs to be made, so it's like run to the system because weapons need to be made. And so there's not any of these particular weapon because there's no steel. Twerk gets a please go and get some steel for us mission, and then that just drives lots of different things. I quite like that. And I think that's kind of important for Star Citizen, for the economy, to having driving forces there. They also did some stuff with animations where they're like locomotion animations now, rather than just stopping and starting when you run.
Yeah, they looked really good.
So
that was probably my second favorite thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it just feels
a small thing.
It's such a small thing, but it makes everything feel real. Like Saurus perked up when you said that too. I mean, look at a game just look at a game like Andromeda. Go back to like how bad animations could cringe a game, and look at the negative press that this is getting. And in some situations, all press isn't good press, right? And in this one in particular, and the attention to detail on things like that, while it's so fucking annoying that we can't play the game that we really want to play. At the same time, you look at a game like Mass Effect and go, that's why they're taking so long.
Well, yeah, it has to be done perfectly, Star Citizen, really. Like, not perfectly, but it has to be done very well.
I think in some situations, I think Chris is a perfectionist, so it might need to be done perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Especially with like the way ships look and things like that.
The problem is that because so many games have been overhyped recently, like No Man's Sky, like Andromeda, Star Citizen needs to make sure it's not this overhyped thing, which like all space games are overhyped. That's what you don't want people to say. And
it's true, they have been. I mean, with the exception of Elite Dangerous, I really like. The more I look back at it, I really like the way Elite has gone through their development process and how they've made their game
simple and honest.
Yep.
That was Elite Dangerous, and it's good because of that. And same as like Eve and stuff. Eve developed over time to this big beam of the stuff. And we've got the problem with games at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm going to have a 2-second rant where everything is overhyped, and overhyping is part of like the process of them marketing. So why wouldn't we overhype it? It gets us more sales. And that's just insanity to me because it makes all games shit because they just have this overhyped thing.
The other thing too is people allow themselves to get overhyped for things, right?
Yes.
Like, that's something I've noticed a lot lately, and it's like, you know, you'd think people would start to learn their lesson and learn from the past, but they don't. Like every day I'm like, 3.0 is gonna be amazing and it's gonna be the best thing ever.
No, it's not. I'm like, it's gonna be really buggy and it's gonna be really frustrating at the start. And then it's gonna get better over time.
We don't even have 2.6.2 yet. What are you freaking out about 3.0 for? Forget about 3.0. Just forget about it completely. Look at what we have now. Don't like it? You know, there's you're gonna overhype yours, and people keep doing that over and over and over again. And you know what? At the very beginning, I'm also guilty. We're all guilty of that, of getting super hyped for stuff. And then
bipolar. As
soon as the big thing for me was 2.6, right? it was like, you know, I don't want to get super hyped, but the FPS and all this stuff, and yes, it's fun. Nobody plays it though, and so it doesn't matter if it's the best game in the world if nobody else plays it, and it requires other people to play it, right? So
I'll play it when they fix the.
That's
issues
everybody's answer, right?
Yeah.
That's I'll play it when this. I'll play it when this. But 3.0 is gonna be the best thing ever, and it's gonna put all games ever to shame, and all this. It's like fucking calm down.
3.0
That's what I'm saying.
Represents the first time we're gonna have a lot of tangible gameplay.
Right?
No,
sure.
Tangible gameplay, not a game. It's
well,
not a game for a while.
It is the start of a game.
Yeah.
It is the very beginning of the
we said the same thing with
2.0.
We said the same thing with 2.6. We're going to say the same thing with 4.0. It's all the fucking same shit. No. Stop.
I think 4.0 will probably be
like
the beta of the
just
game.
Stop looking at like this is my rule has been stop looking at the future patches that we don't even fucking know what's in it 100% yet.
There's no timeline.
There's no timeline or anything for. Look at the patch that's in Evocati now. Is that what you're excited about? If you're not, okay, cool. Go play some other shit. Come back in a couple months. You know, if it is, awesome. You know, it's almost here. It's like a week away, maybe, before it goes to live. So
that's a good point. If you don't like playing,
focus on the patch that's coming up
on the free weekends. If you played Star Citizen and you don't enjoy it on the free weekends, don't buy it until you do.
Because then what happens is then I get all the people that are, oh my god, 3.0 is the Jesus patch, and then they come in and then they're like, oh, this really sucks, or I don't want to play it, or why am I getting? It's like, well, you're the one who hyped yourself up over it.
I still don't understand.
I didn't hype them up over it.
Yes, I've never had that like super low frame rate problem. People seem to be having.
You're really lucky. I mean, look at how many issues I've had, and we've run through everything, right?
Yeah, Twerk gets it's so people that follow my performance guides, they seem to get a good result. Twerk gets significantly worse results after implementing any of my changes. So there is that side to the tail. But anyway, let us come back on track from our rantings. Also, after the good experience we just talked about the running and slowing down.
Oh, so I think that looked fucking great.
It looked really good. And it's those little
to be
things.
honest, there's one bit of animation though from Andromeda that I'd like to see in Star Citizen.
Yeah.
That was really good. There was like side to side movement, and the way that they like would plant their feet, and it was almost like a football juke kind of. But if you would move side to side while running, it looked terrible, but they did certain things right with the legs.
One of the reasons
stuff like that as well.
One of the reasons that StarEngine didn't go live
were those jukes.
Were their jukes? Yeah. From years ago, and they want those jukes in there, and they will have them, but they're hard to do in a network code where you actually have to hit them in the leg. So you'll shoot them when they're juking, and it won't register you've hit them, even though you've hit them. They needed to get those network code issues. So 3.0 Jesus patch. Lol.
Yeah.
So other things they've improved as well. They've also improved AI pathing with like there was a man running around just after he was running around. I don't know what that was about. AI can walk around things. Good job, AI. They've done lots of improvements to lighting optimizations there. They were just showing lights. Networking there have finished the serialized variables and message ordering, which is supposed to be in 2.6.2, and they're finishing up the mega map as well. Again, that's supposed to be in 2.6.2.
That was supposed to be in 2.6.
It's supposed to be in 2.6 or 2.6.1 originally.
Yeah. And those are one of the things that just didn't make it push back a little bit.
Yeah. And we have the single player mega map in 2.6.1, and it eliminates preload. I mean, I'm in. Woo!
Yeah, which is awesome.
It might be a bit different if you've got a low amount of RAM. Thinking about it, I've got it's almost instant for me. It's awesome. What else are we doing? What else am I talking about? Oh, the first person shooter weapons. So this was actually interesting to see. We saw a load of different. Yeah, the P4 AR. I'm going to read it from a list.
Well, for me,
we have the P4 AR already.
This goes back a little bit for me, like with the Caterpillar. We're like, how many fucking weeks are we going to see this? And say,
especially with weapons, like you'd think they'd be in a lot quicker than this.
So I think that we're going to just get
shotgun,
a big drop. Yeah,
we've seen quite a bit of.
Devastator shotgun, or is that the one we currently have?
The Devastator is what we currently
The
have.
Devastators, we don't have the other.
Yeah,
I don't know if we have the name of the
double-barrel
other one.
ballistic. The double-barrel
Yeah.
ballistic shotgun we don't have yet. But I think actually the German studio are working on that rather than the UK studio.
It was from
But-
Castek, right?
Hashtag
The-
It is a
new-
Castek Arms weapon.
Yeah.
They both are, aren't they?
It's the German studios are working on that. But what we did get to see there was a couple of like the new assault rifle things, or at least tweaks to them.
You guys
and the
remember
railgun.
the P8 concept art with all the different types of weapons?
Yeah.
Everything from like
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
everything from like a pistol all the way to like the big sniper rifles.
Yeah.
And it was all the
Yeah.
same like body, but they were like modular weapons. That was the
Well,
P8.
if you look at the P8 SC and the P8 AR, I think that's
yeah,
same body,
Yeah.
different.
different
Attachments,
attachments
effectively.
kind of thing.
And they
Yeah.
want the white weapon to be the standard, is what they said. So the P4AR is no longer going to be our. It seems to me like it's no longer going to be our starting weapon. It's going to be this other ballistic rifle with the scope on
yeah.
it.
I'm hoping we get modular attachments in the next major patch. Like I
that
want to start.
well, yeah, with
customizing
items
those.
2.0 should start bringing
we-
stuff like that, right?
To be fair,
Mhm.
we saw that for once again, everybody who's gonna get hyped for 3.0, close your ears. With 3.0, or they showed the character customization, and they said that that's going to be in the next major patch as well. And that character customization had the weapon customization in it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, but do you think it'll be, well, do we think that what were the white weapons called again? I'm losing
The
my mind.
P8s.
The
They're
P8, yeah, the P8, all different P8s. Do we know that those were modular, or do we think that they were modular to make them like that?
The concept art showed that they were all the same body.
Yeah.
And then they were
But
different
then-
weapons. It wasn't. I don't think it's something that you're going to be able to be like, I'm going to rip off the barrel of this and throw it
This.
on this to change it.
Okay.
I don't think that's.
It might have
like,
just
you
been
have
an
to
ease
buy.
for art.
Yeah, ease for art and the ease to show that they're the same line of weapons.
Yeah. So
It's not something
Do
I
you-
don't
do
think
you
we're going to
think-
have control over.
And do you think, like, when we get this first P8, that we're gonna get the rest with a big drop? I don't necessarily know, since they keep showing this one in particular.
I don't know because
don't know
each
if we're gonna
weapon
see
will
all-
need its own animations.
Yeah. So I think it will see a few over time,
Like
maybe.
character animations and weapon animations.
Yeah.
What did you think about seeing the actual railgun rendered?
I didn't. Oh, we kind of thought it disappeared, right? We got excited about it when we saw it a long time ago because we needed it in game, and we're like, did this thing die? What happened to it? Like every now and then we come back to it when we talk about our situations while playing the game and being like, God damn it, you know, I was at Korea and this fucking asshole in a ship. I was walking outside, and he just shot me in a ship, and I was dead instantly. And I knew he was there, and I knew there was, exactly, and I knew there was nothing I could do about it, right? And now it's back. So I think it's pretty exciting for me.
I mean, I just want to see them start appearing in Star Marine. So you walk around a corner and someone's got a railgun.
Oh
pointed
god.
at you, and you're
Well,
like,
if
I'm
it
dead.
was like, if it was a single game, like a single game mode where it was all railguns, sure.
Oh, Instagib with railguns. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pretty.
Oh,
pretty
somebody in chat asked, and Bored, have you guys moved times yet? Have your time zones changed?
I think it's next week.
Yeah. So somebody asked, like,
Oh.
are we on normal time? We're gonna be an hour early until next week. Until
Oh, if you're in the UK,
yeah, until Europe changes their time. We're always a week
why
early.
do they?
Or 2
Why
weeks
do they
early.
do theirs? They should just
Why do
abolish.
people, why does
that-
it happen? Period.
Yeah, it just
Sorry,
needs to be
happen at all.
abolished. Period.
What's
Yeah.
your plus zone? Your plus GMT zone? Oh, mine's UTC or GMT plus 0. So get your times right, yeah. British summertime.
Well, no,
that
that's
does. Real
fine. I'm
times,
saying
real
like
times.
the spring and fall, like
Yeah,
go
fall
back.
forward and
The
whatever
whole
swing
hour
back.
switch is retarded and just needs to be removed entirely.
I couldn't hear you over mispronouncing the term autumn.
Autism?
What did he say?
Something about
Autumn.
something about
Autumn.
autism.
No. You say fall. I say autumn. Because that's
Oh yeah, we call it fall and autumn. We use both
No, we use both.
because the leaves fall and fall.
Yeah, makes sense.
But you don't have any leaves because it's always dark and dreary.
Whoa,
in
whoa!
the
It's not
area.
always dark and dreary. Sometimes I'm
99%.
indoors and the lights are on. Right,
But
what
yeah,
have we got to?
so the podcast might be off for until next week, I think. The facial animation stuff was cool.
Well, they talked about they're like finishing off the female rig stuff as well.
Yeah,
like,
but we've heard
final
that
posing.
before.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
We've heard that before, so I was like, when I'm playing a female, that's when I'll be like, finally, and that's it. Like, talk about not getting hyped about something. Like, I just kind of leave the female stuff alone.
So they talked a little bit more. Well, I say a little bit more, a tiny bit about the Derby studio, which is another studio they have in the UK, just with a tiny team working on facial animation and motion capture stuff, animation things.
Well, isn't a lot of that stuff in German office anyway, right? So that's why they have a smaller team in the UK.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's very heavy Squadron 42 focused, and it's probably for very specific like hero level animations and faces that the Derby guys work for. I think. But they also talked about the Reclaimer being its interiors and block out and stuff. Just more work going on to that, and obviously saw some of the visuals of that.
Well, did we see any interiors of it? I think we only saw the exteriors.
I think we saw the bridge, that red area.
Oh yeah.
That red screenshot. I think that is the Reclaimer's bridge.
Okay.
There's also work going on to lots and lots of ship weapons. I think was it Knights Pajamas ones we saw last time, the German studio as well, the modular ones.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, where the level 1s to 3s.
Yeah.
I still don't really know what any of that means.
I think that those weapons are going to be modular or modular-ish in the same way that a FPS weapon is going to be, and rather than them being level 1 to 3, literally being level 1 is less powerful than level 3, that they are just with different components
different specs.
So
maybe one cools faster, one has more ammunition, one shoots faster or shoots a bigger load or something.
But it might be even down to like micro components, literally, of this one's got more accuracy because this has got and a different cooler on the side, and you can modularly fit them. So I'm not sure if it's going to be really modular or if it's just going to be 3 different types for each sort of thing. Like, but it'll be whatever it is. I mean, modular will be mad if it's.
You heard it here, guys. Here first. It will be what it is.
It'll be what it is.
Boredgamer UK 2017.
Environments, guys. They've been working on more truck stops and planetary outposts.
This was epic for me.
It was surprising.
Was it though? Was it really surprising to you? After seeing like the
satellites and the
satellites, you had to know that they were doing stuff like this as well, right?
I did, but it's surprising what they showed. Like we know they're getting their building sets.
You thought they would show more, or did you think they were going to show less?
I thought they're going to show more.
Yeah,
they're always going to show a little less. I feel like than what you'll see at a studio tour.
Yeah,
okay.
Always.
Yeah. But they're getting these. They're getting these building sets complete for these planetary outposts and these truck stops and these satellites and all that sort of stuff, so that they can easily place them in the verse if they want to, that they can strategically sculpt them with artists if they need to, or they can have them procedurally placed by game.
I think that's the big thing. Procedurally placing of them is the main thing. That's why they're making them so they all snap together. So it's a lot easier to code that in, and then they can generate those when they at the same time as they generate the planets or they generate the biomes.
But we're going to see that effectively some of these stations and locations like satellites and stuff, they are effectively immobile ships. They have the same systems as a ship, they have the same piping, they have the same like modular connections of this power plant feeds into these weapons. Destroy or damage the power plant, those weapons go offline or whatever.
Or the doors need to be overridden because they won't be powered anymore, and things. If there's oxygen or whatever needed on that planet, then yes, those systems will be down as well.
And talk about like emerging gameplay, or not necessarily emerging gameplay, but like with the mission systems is, I feel like
get this station back online.
Yeah,
go defend it for a bit. Yeah.
Yep. They could do a lot of things with it if those systems work well,
But they also seem to have progressed on like using shaders and different things to blend to terrain as well. So you'll have these outposts that are like procedurally placed or whatever intelligently, but they'll also be part of the biome they're in. So this one is 50 years old and part of an Arctic biome, you'll see that visibly from the outside.
Yeah, like ice might be built up on the glass or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and there might be rust or damage to that paintwork based on its length of time in that biome.
The paintwork and stuff, but yeah, exactly. We might see specific things like maybe some vines in like a jungle area, or some sand dunes building up on it in whatever, and
on
those
side,
are specific to those. That's why I said they may be generated with the bio. Excuse me. They may be generated with the biomes, right? Because of the way that the biomes would affect those buildings.
Yeah.
So one of the things I did see at the Squadron 42 tour as well was some of the visual sights that we will be seeing in space as we travel around. And they sort of showed a little tiny bit of this, where visual effects for lots of different things here. So whether you're traveling in space, you're going to see nebulas and stuff based on where you are in space. They're not just like, there's a nebula over there. That nebula is supposed to be over there. Like it knows that it's supposed to be there. It knows what location you're going to, and you're seeing what you're supposed to be kind of seeing, and it gives you a very immersive experience. But there's lots of love in general for visual effects for planetary environments, for atmospheric flight effects, and they were talking about procedurally generated surfaces, which I couldn't really understand what they meant, other than them just improving them further. But space flight and space travel is going to look beautiful, but also these procedurally generated surfaces are going to look really cool. And we obviously in the 3.0 Gamescom demo, we just saw a single textured moon.
Yeah,
it's going to look impressive. It's not going to look single texture. It's going to look impressive.
And we've seen a little bit of them now, and they are much more impressive than what we saw from Gamescom.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Gotcha. Thruster effects for the Constellation Aquila, interior lighting for that as well, and general cool damage effects. I actually really liked that bit where they showed inside the Aquila and like combat lighting going on.
Yeah,
that beautiful.
And I wonder. I hope that if they're updating the Aquila, they're also updating the Andromeda as well.
I think you've got to assume that it's the whole Constellation series will share similar visual updates. They're not reworks.
I hope so.
They're just little light updates. I think you'll get that with all ships. Like they'll have little mini visual updates, but no heavy reworks now.
Yeah.
There was lots more work on the user interface stuff, whether that be for HUDs on your helmet as you're running around, but also in your ship. They talk about the new kiosk system. Got written down new kiosk. I can't remember.
Well, from the 10 for the chairman thing.
Oh, no. It was when they were showing the different storefronts for everything. So it was showing it looked like a new Drake missile launcher, but in all of them. But it was like the different storefronts that you did through a kiosk. Like I don't know. I think they're everywhere in Canada. I don't know if they're in the UK or the States yet. But if you go into McDonald's, you don't even need to talk to a person. You just go to their big fucking thing and you just.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't go into McDonald's, so I don't know. But I don't think they exist yet.
It's like purchasing stuff on a hole in the wall, like a cash machine.
Yeah, there's still people that work there, but nobody goes to them. Yeah, very very rarely, unless you have to pay cash.
People involved with my food.
Well,
dispense through a hole.
And I'm like,
well, I mean, at the same time, this is like a super tangent, but how many times has somebody screwed up your order?
Yeah.
Right. Where you tell them like, please no onions, and they put onions or something. Yeah. Or like for me, no tomatoes, and then it comes with like 47 extra tomatoes, and you're like, God damn it, dude. So when you type it in exactly the way you want it, then it's on the people that make it, and then it's like, well, it's right here, I said it.
To go on a little mini thing, I was getting into a discussion with Stacy about and Mike about how long until that whole process is automated, where you don't need people at all. Where it's just all,
especially at a McDonald's.
Like at a McDonald's, right? Like McDonald's is like, it's a good starting job, right? Like a lot of people have the first job at a McDonald's or whatever. It's like a matter of years. It's not even decades. It's a matter of years before it's fully automated. But anyways, moving on.
So yeah, the new kiosk stuff that we saw was basically iterations of skins and like the UI for it. Like showing the interfaces for it, and then we heard some audio, the Dragonfly and the Aquila and Spectre and Buccaneer, and when I had my tour there, I was explaining what organic audio was, which is all these sounds overlapping each other based on where you are in the vehicle. totally different based on where you are. And it's cool. Organic audio is cool. Those sounds actually have soundboards and all that sort of jazz. Like the ships have their own image boards and style boards. They're cool. And then I'm not really good with audio stuff. They talk about,
it sounded
hard
pretty
to talk
awesome.
about audio.
Yeah, it sounded
I mean,
cool.
I don't know how to. I find it really frustrating explaining audio stuff.
It's hard for us to talk about audio on the podcast.
It sounded like this.
no, I mean, I like it's audio is something that people appreciate in very different ways. To me, like I find it hard. I find it frustrating. But they also worked on some of the music composition for Star Citizen, speech processing and stuff. Lots of audio fixes and Foley work for noises on different materials. So this could be you running on sand and then running on metal and that sort of stuff, and the kind of like in-betweens of that, like some sand, some metal, so you get like the correct audio for that. But also when you fire a weapon type at a certain distance at a certain material. So all that's taken into account when you get your audio. That's quite important. But that was kind of it for AtV.
Mm-hmm.
Other than obviously at the end seeing the awesomeness of all those visuals. And well, there was a featurette on level design as well. But I didn't take any tangible new stuff from that.
No, there wasn't a fantastic amount of news stuff there. It was a lot of, I mean, it was cool, but I hear you. Now, this is something that you could talk a lot about, Bored, probably, is the DX11 Vulcan.
DX12 Vulcan stuff?
Yeah.
It's very polarizing to some people for some reason. Like, I don't understand
think it
why.
should be. They think they think that it means NVIDIA or AMD when that's wrong.
Yeah, and it doesn't, right? Because isn't Vulcan open source or whatever?
Vulcan's for both, yeah.
Yeah.
So Mantle from AMD was a great idea, but kind of didn't do well. But they donated the code, and that's basically become Vulcan, which is super multi-platform.
And Vulcan evolved from OpenGL, and also integrated some things from Mantle as well. But the thing is what it means.
Spiritual successor to OpenGL.
What it means is DX12 would mean Windows only. That's it.
Windows 10 only.
Windows 10 only at that, and that's it. Where Vulcan means any operating system within the Windows, whatever, but also Linux, Mac, anything else, if people want to go to that. Now, that's a very small player base of people that are actually going to use those things, but having that option is more important. And number two, having Vulcan as an open source concept and being able to do that may be better in the long run.
Yeah,
it gives them the same features as DirectX 12, but gives them some extra ones, and I think it's more powerful as a compute AI as well. So
I mean, and
better for multi-threading and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where especially Brian Chambers got asked this question, and I remember like one of his answers is we are going to research it, and they're going to use it. Like nobody really develops for. It's my understanding that nobody really develops fully for DX12 yet or Vulcan. I think they kind of just integrate with it as best they can with like the games that we're currently playing now. No one's like fully developed from the ground up using these things yet. And if I remember what Brian said, this was way back, was we're going to figure out which one works the best for us, and we're going to fully use it. We're going to fully take advantage of it completely, not just half-ass it like a lot of the other games have done.
I think he also said that they possibly would use both if it was sensible. But they've now said that only use DirectX 12 if it gave them a specific substantial advantage over Vulcan. So they're kind of going for Vulcan, and will consider DirectX 12 if it's really good too in the future. But they're even phasing out DirectX 11. And Vulcan is a great idea. It's gives them all the features and a little bit more than DirectX 12 would for what they want to use it for anyway.
Yeah.
But this is cool. I really liked that. I was like, cool. They've actually come up with some affirmatives on stuff. Like, we are doing this. Cool. Great. An actual answer. Some other stuff I found out in the news as well. They were talking about moving on to the Cutlass Red and Blue, because the Cutlass Black rework is nearish completion.
Nice. We were hoping that was what was going to happen, so that's cool.
Yes. I mean, I wonder what they're going to look like. Are they just going to look very similar to the black, and they're going to be more modular now, or are they going to be different hulls? That's what I'm interested in. Are they modules or hulls now?
Yeah.
It might just be different modular interiors. You can switch out the colors black now.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see now that it's because out of all the ships that have gotten a rework, the Cutlass has gotten the biggest one, right? As far as the most drastic change, as far as I can tell,
it's been entirely reworked.
Yeah, it's from almost the ground up again. So how everything will work with this ship in particular would be the most interesting and different. So yeah, I think the next one that will probably be the most drastic again would be the Mustangs.
So
that need
you
the
have
most work.
Almost all the Drake ships, don't you? Or if not,
I have
all
the
the
Drake
Drake
ships. Yeah.
Are you excited at all about the Cutlass Red, or do you go? Pfft?
I have one.
Okay, you come on.
Yeah, you have one.
Once again, I'll get excited about it when the stuff is in. I don't get this pre-hype excitement anymore for anything. Until I have it in my hands. No, until I have it in my hands, nothing. Nothing. Not until I have it in my hands. It looks cool. Like the Buccaneer looks cool, but I'm not excited until I have it. There's no point.
But what we're asking you something differently though. Then are you going to be excited about this when it's more of the certain ships that have certain roles? That's the reason he's asking you.
I think
it doesn't really seem like the role that you would play, search and rescue. It's a totally
there's a lot of ships
would you be excited?
There's a lot of ships that the role you wouldn't consider that I would play, but in terms of like having all the different game mechanics, I'm excited for all of them because they're important to the game, and it'll be interesting to try them out. And the thing is, I don't know what I'm gonna like. I don't like
exactly.
Like, I have no idea, ships. So that's why I fucking plead the fifth on everything. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Saurus will probably use the Cutlass Red quite often though, for like repairing his men. You see what I mean? Like
I think it makes sense.
Like there'll be roles for everything.
If you're in PvP, you need a ship where you can repair people, no matter what.
Or maybe respawn from or something like that. We don't know exactly how those respawn and medibase stuff's going to work yet. So,
but the thing is, they change that shit all the time, right? At first they said, no respawning in the Cutlass, and maybe we will use it as a respawning thing, or no. So I'm like, give it to me when like ask me the same question when all of its not only the ship's in, but all of its mechanics are in, and then I'll tell you how I feel about it. Because everything changes so much, right?
Yeah.
That there's no point in getting yourself worked up. And this goes back to the hyping for patches and shit. There's no point in getting all worked up over stuff just to have it change every 2 weeks. You know? So it's just, it doesn't do anything for me.
One of the things I saw was that Elizabeth Maxwell, who is a voice of games and animes that I watch, and did the voice of Albedo in Overlord and Fishermond and Noragami and stuff like that. So a lot of people will recognize her voice once you hear it. She is doing some mocap for Star Citizen. It appears she put a tweet out saying Major Maxwell reporting for duty, #Star Citizen, #mocap, #Cloud Imperium Games. But I assume some voice work as well because that's her day job, as far as I'm aware. But I'm quite excited about that, and it's pretty exciting if you know her.
Board's a weeb.
I'm a weeaboo, mate. We call ourselves in the weeaboo circle. I dress up as a little fairy as well. I'm a fox. As soon as that fucking camera goes offline, I dress up as a fox. My beautiful tail.
Is that your chair is just your tail? That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's part of my fox costume, mate.
No.
Fox leather.
It is the color of a fox.
It is the color of a fox. Yeah. And then the only there was a couple of other things actually. So John Erskine talked about he's very excited for Twitch integration with Star Citizen and Spectrum in the future. They've been talking to Twitch about some interesting things they can do integration-wise. So
I wonder what that. I don't really know what it could possibly be. Like Twitch chat in game, maybe. But like as far as it goes, like I don't see them allowing Twitch chat to like have bad things happen to you in games like some other games. Like I wonder what integration they're really looking at.
Well, they might be able to have Mobiglass mods that allow Twitch integration.
People to watch Twitch streams.
Yeah, so maybe
that'd be sick.
You could have a Mobiglass mod that allowed you to see Twitch chat, but also that allowed them to see out different cameras of your ship. Or stuff like that. Stuff that goes, well, it doesn't give you an advantage because you've had to buy this module anyway. You've had to buy this extra functionality for your Twitch chat. And stuff like that. So maybe there's going to be some cool stuff. Maybe it will be like microtransactions in UEC via Twitch. I know that Twitch are going to be doing that for games in the future.
Yeah, could be.
Stuff like, but hopefully, I'm not one to like microtransaction routes, although I get addicted by microtransactions.
I don't think anything you're going to see with Twitch will have anything to do with real money in games.
Cool.
If anything, there could be things to do trading and stuff like that through Twitch chat, or for an ability for a Twitch streamer to give away currency and things like that through their chat. But I don't think that there's going to be anything that actually
that would be
costs
cool.
money.
Yeah.
Giveaways for UEC. That would be cool. I could go like, I can give you UEC through.
Yeah, or I can give away a ship.
Cool.
I bought this ship and we can raffle it off in the channel.
Oh, that's a good idea as well. Yeah, literally directly from your account, a ship.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's a good idea. Other than
I feel like none of it's giveaway related.
No, I'm just giving an example.
I'm so curious what it might be. Because I don't know what it... I don't... Yeah, like the Twitch integration that we've seen is either Twitch chat or like that one game where you like jump on the trucks and all of a sudden things start happening because Twitch chat says, oh, well, there's no gravity now all of a sudden, and then there's no...
Twitch and Amazon are just incredibly product and user focused.
Yeah.
Remember that CIG said that they went down to Twitch headquarters as well, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not only built in with Amazon Lumberyard, but CIG is doing this
actively doing something.
Actively doing something as well. We don't know what that
well, the one thing that I'm curious about is obviously we saw that Twitch would be selling games. Now I wonder if the fucking store, the CIG store, would end up integrating into sales. I don't think so though, because then I feel like Star Citizen will be on Steam then, right? I don't think they want to be giving up any percentage of
not
their
on
sales
Steam,
right now.
It would be on Amazon.
Yeah. But you're still, no matter who you're selling with, you're giving up a percentage of your sales to sell them there, and,
you also have
it
to
doesn't make
remember
sense right now.
That Amazon Lumberyard, if they're going to do stuff with Twitch, there's a lot of stuff that if they want to work together with them, that they may force their hand into selling on Amazon as well as part of that contract. Who knows?
I think that because Star Citizen has got their foot in the door early with Lumberyard, Amazon are very, very interested in making sure that they have a success story. So I think that they are. Star Citizen are able to negotiate much better stuff than games that will come after because of that. Amazon needs Star Citizen to succeed on their engine. It will make them huge amounts of money in the long run.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Look at this game, and we all know the game's fantastically beautiful. Now imagine if they pull off, the X hundreds of people that they want in a given area or whatever. That would be... Oh my god!
They started off by going, "Let's make
Lumberyard
the
would be like these engines that people are building in."
Yeah. Eventually, we'll have all the gameplay we want. Well, what else? What else we got? We doing questions or something?
Yeah, we'll jump into questions. If you have any other questions, we have about 10 here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in chat. ! Questions. Go fill out that form, and we will get them in here. First one's from Covent Garden Martin. He says, with the Prospector and mining coming with 3.0, I'm concerned that working in the background of Orion, for example, will simply be a mini-game interaction that will ultimately have a repeatable pattern of functions for you to navigate. Are you guys seeing any evidence in forum talk, dev chat, or RSI videos that give you the impression it could be more random patterns or patternless or fun? Or do you agree with me? You guys know my answer.
Read the mining doc. Read the fucking mining doc. Of course it's going to be random. Things are going to pop up out of nowhere where it's always going to be a different experience with each asteroid because of where the gas pocket might be, or how much power you have to put into the mining laser. All sorts of stuff from the actual mining design doc tells you that it's not going to be repetitive, super repetitive.
Yeah, there's two things at play there.
It's not going to be click, click.
There's three things at play actually.
Like,
there's the mining mechanics themselves are going to be relatively procedural, but it's about how you implement them and how efficient you get them. If you had exactly the same experience every time, they might get repetitive. So if you went to exactly the same asteroid, well, you shouldn't. But if you went to exactly the same asteroid and exactly the same thing and kept on doing exactly the same thing, which is almost impossible to do, and finding exactly the same shape asteroid, exactly the same angle, that might be repetitive, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's other things at play here. There's pirates. There's the area you're in. There's loads of other stuff that might be going on around you. There are things to do in your ship as well. There's repairs of stuff that will need to be done. There's resources that your ship might be consuming. There's a billion other things going on rather than just the base gameplay mechanics of mining.
And then once you break the rocks off, you have to push and pull them into your ship with the tractor beams, all sorts of stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be.
My thing is that they might be complex, those mechanics, but if you had exactly the same situation, they might just be going through the motions.
I don't think it's possible to have the exact same situation.
Exactly. There's going to be so much other stuff going on that even if those mechanics were relatively samey, like there was a best route to do them, that you'd still have a good experience.
Yeah.
And
this is all just going based off the design docs.
Oh yeah. When they implement it, it's going to be fun because they're going to balance that. That's going to be a huge profession in the game. That's going to be one of the main professions. And it needs to be balanced so it's fun, so that people want to do it. Because otherwise, pirates are going to be bored because they've got no one to go and raid.
Yeah.
They need people to be enjoying that game mechanic.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think so, to answer that question.
Our next question's from Aladdin the Gamer. Now that Star Citizen should support head tracking controller, track IR in 2.6.2, will you use it? Will Boredgamer create a guide for it? Will it be better for flying with joystick and hit the targets with this? Thanks for the great show. I love it.
Yes, I will be using it. I think I'm gonna buy it this week, actually.
Cool. I think a few of us will be doing videos on it, like me, Noob, possibly Twek as well.
I won't do a video on it because I don't have that kind of time anymore, but I will use it on stream, definitely. I've been waiting for it. I've could have played it in Elite, but I don't really play Elite, so I've been waiting for the game that I enjoy playing to have track IR support again.
My promise to the Redacted and my community is that I will attempt to try out everything that I think might be useful for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And do a guide on it if it's something I can get my head around, or I think I can make a guide on it. Track IR, I do think is going to be useful to some people. Definitely.
Yeah, it's just great for immersion stuff without having to buy a fucking VR headset, right?
But so I think they basically said that the implementation that we're going to have with 2.6.2 is effectively shit and not polished. But it will work.
That's fine.
It doesn't represent what they want it for track IR in the future. They want it to be natively integrated.
Okay.
So in the future, really, really good. At the moment, at least it's functioning again.
Yeah. Because a lot of people do, not a lot, but a decent amount of people still do use it.
Yeah.
Like wanted to have used it in the past. Like can't remember his name now, but he fought with it and was like one of the best pilots. Just his name's escaping me at the moment.
Hydro
Big Bang. Yeah.
Yeah, Hydro Big Bang. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next question's from Giran for Boredgamer. How far in the future would you say the freelancer variants are? Would you say they will release them all at the same time, or they will release them when they're ready? He's currently waiting for his freelance.
They will release them when they're ready. That's for sure.
That's an obvious answer.
I would expect to see one come online, and then the others soon after, sort of thing, rather than them all together. But I don't know. That's just an expectation. Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't even say secret knowledge. I have no fucking clue.
Next question's from Cataphor. Would you like CIG to install cameras in their studios so we can watch them while they're working?
Yes.
Yeah,
no, that's super fucking weird.
Really. There's other studios that do that, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be cool. They would never do that though.
No,
They're
I
too
know certain
secretive
people
about
don't want to be on camera. There's certain people that just do not
yeah.
ever want to be on camera. And actually, I saw one of them. He was in a fucking picture, and I was like, damn, he's probably so pissed because he said
But
he
what I mean
never
is-
wanted to be on camera.
And that's fine. So you have them in certain places. You don't have them in the toilets to work or in the kitchen. Where it's like, oh, there's Proxus having a sandwich. Hey, Proxus!
No, that's so fucking terrible. No
But
way.
you have them in certain areas, like specific areas where you know people are okay with it. But also, it's a cool thing. Like you'd have them over like the
Like the
elevator
art
floor.
pit. Yeah.
Would you
something like
want? Would you want a camera on you 24/7?
Some people wouldn't mind.
I wouldn't mind.
Some
It's not-
people,
and
but
it's
when
not- It's not. Yeah, I wouldn't want it 24/7, but they're not at 24/7.
Brooke, ask the question while the dude's building a fucking stream house.
yeah,
That's a good point. Soros loves that shit. I
Yeah.
wouldn't, but
I
they're
don't think
not
I
getting.
would.
Even if you had one in the studio, it wouldn't be 24/7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be 24/7. It would be like from work hours.
But as long as they were okay with it, I would watch that. Like
I would not
Yeah,
watch
I
that.
think a lot of people would.
It's too cringy.
Next
but to work.
question, Cincy Nismo, will we be able to load a hull, whatever, or any cargo ship for that matter, with explosives and use it as a kamikaze bomber? I don't know.
I don't.
we don't, we're not devs.
I'd assume that if cargo is explosive, then it would be less effective than using weaponized things.
Yes,
missile
I think that's a
that
good way to
weapons should be
answer that
used.
question. Yeah,
Yeah. So
we're not
yeah,
devs.
I'm sure that. So what I think's more interesting is that I would like to see cargo ships as Q ships. I'd like to see them set up as anti-pirate ships. So pirates go, a trade ship. Oh shit, it's got loads of guns all over it and loads of like defense turrets and stuff for taking pirates out that go too close, whatever. So I don't think we're going to see kamikaze weaponized ships, but maybe we will.
Yeah.
That's what the Vandal are, I suppose. It's
Yeah.
big blades.
Hurricane 88 says, with star systems being about 1/10 the size of what actual systems are planets and atmosphere going to be scaled down?
They're
Say it
1/6 size, aren't they? Aren't planets?
star
atmosphere
systems-
is 1/6 size.
Being about 1/10 the size of what actual systems are planets and atmosphere also going to be scaled down?
I think they're 1/4 or 1/6 size anyway.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
1/8 I've always
let's
heard
change
1/8.
it. The
Might be 1/8.
context, the specifics don't matter. It's the context that he's asking about. So, with star systems being about 1/6 or 1/4 of the size of what actual systems are planets and atmospheres also going to be scaled down?
Yeah,
Yes, they are going to be scaled down and have.
they,
have
not
things-
are going to be. They already
Are.
the ones that are there already are. Is my understanding.
The other thing is they're going to be fucking big.
They're still going to be very large. Yeah,
They're going to be
Yeah.
very big.
like
They're still 1/8 or whatever scale, which means they're still fucking massive, and
Yeah,
there's
I'm not-
tons to walk around.
Did they say there was going to be hundreds of hours of gameplay on each planet or on each system? Potentially.
I think they want that for each system because they're talking about how much work they're putting into each system to make them enjoyable, because they're not making their games like Elite, making their games like No Man's Sky, which they're selling. We have billions of planets or systems or whatever, and because of
We
our
have
procedural
floating-
generation.
The floating point amount of planets potentially. I suppose,
Yeah.
Okay.
So instead of that, they have, well, we're going to put tons of detail into these systems, and you're going to have tons of play in them. So I believe it was the star system.
Yeah,
there's-
okay, that makes sense. Because potentially you could have hundreds of gameplay doing mini games potentially.
Yeah.
Okay,
Playing
cool.
basketball on your javelin.
Oh my god, yeah.
Solus Phantom says, what does a switch to Lumberyard mean for the future of Star Citizen? Is this going to up the required PC spec for the game or make it easier? It's not gonna
It
change
changes
this-
nothing.
It changes nothing.
Changes nothing. Lumberyard's still the same engine with just like different integrations, right?
Yeah, it just enables a lot more Twitch stuff. It enables some other stuff. And the big thing...
With their servers.
The big thing that everybody always glosses over is the amount of support that they can get. So being able, instead of having to rely on CryEngine for support or Crytek for support, they now rely on Amazon for support. And from everything that we've heard, that's 1 billion times better.
Well, because it's not necessarily, it seems like Crytek's somewhat of like a failing business at the moment, right?
Well,
Like,
not
we
only
always
that,
hear
is Amazon has, I would imagine,
all of the money.
not only all of the
Resources,
money,
yeah.
but the resources in devs that know what the fuck they're talking
Yeah,
about.
so let's look at it from this point of view. Crytek is downscaling and kind of starting to refocus on their core objectives again, whereas
Amazon's doing the opposite.
doing the opposite. It's gone, right, we know what we want to do with our engine. Let's invest in infrastructure for it. Let's get the best support. Let's start to make AAA games with this and make this engine really successful. And they are investing in very similar things to what Star Citizen want. And they're becoming this huge, like, game engine giant thing. Like, and Star Citizen, Amazon have this massive infrastructure now. Like, it's just insane. All the stars aligned. For that. Like, it just made sense. I'm so glad they went to Lumberyard now.
Next question from Winlord. I'm not sure if you covered this in your stolen hour.
Oh, because of the time zone.
Oh. Did you see the possible hangar location on one of the truck stop gray box images? Thoughts, Private Republic org. By the way, that station looks cool. Love the show. Should be daily.
I didn't see the hangar thing, but it makes sense. Because there's a hangar at Grimhex. There's hangars at Grimhex.
Yeah, you would imagine like some of the larger bases on planets and space stations will have hangars in them.
I was too distracted by seeing the Idris docked.
Yes, the Idris and the size of the constellations looking so
tiny. There was
tiny.
one image that had like 2 Idrises docked to it.
Yeah. To be fair, there was images with Idrises docked to Port Olisar on our loading screens back in the day as well. So again,
you know what?
Manage your hype yet again, please.
I'm quite excited about the Idris M, but not so much about the Idris P now, because I look at it from a gameplay point of view. Can I run this ship semi-solo?
Yeah.
And it just the Idris just, unless it's got that big railgun on like the M has, it just feels like a carrier to me. And I don't know, not as excited. Getting so excited about the Reclaimer though. So excited about the Reclaimer.
Reclaimer is cool, man. It's gonna be cool.
Reclaimer.
I didn't buy that ship for so long, and I don't know why. So it's just one of the. It's the one that I've always wanted. I always just wanted a Reclaimer and an Orion. That's all I really need.
Yeah, that's what you need. What you need. Remember that, guys, when you're buying ships, all you need, other than the starter package, is an Orion and a Reclaimer. Buy $700 worth of ships.
Yeah.
Next question is from Gary. Sorry to hit the last part of that. Loving the show. Really appreciate that. We love doing this. Should be daily. Disagree, 100%. No way we'd be able to do this show daily.
Yeah, we couldn't do this daily.
Garen asked Boredgamer. How do you think they will handle the F7A cosmetic hull upgrade to the other Hornets? Just color and stickers change or full geometry change?
Sorry, so this is the first bit again?
How do you think they will handle the F7A cosmetic hull upgrade, you know, the Veterans Day upgrade?
Yeah.
For the other Hornets? Would they just color and stickers change or full geometry change?
I don't know, because I'm not sure if they looked at it and they wanted to release that skin, but now I don't know what they're going to do with it. They can't give you a military Hornet because that was like a $5 upgrade, but maybe they can.
But it was for charity, so why not? And it's very limited and there aren't that many, so it still limits that military.
I think the original idea was it just to be a skin that you could apply to any Hornet. So, but I'm thinking maybe now, maybe it will upgrade you to a military version. Who knows? I don't know.
But it's probably geometry, but not component. Components don't change. As in, like the level of components that you're able to put on the ship.
No, I think if it changed the geometry, it would be you would get the military version. If they went, you have an F7A, it wouldn't just be it looks like an F7A. It would be an F7A. That would be...
Yeah, that ship is definitely a result of we were really early in the development of the game and didn't realize where we would be today. I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question, but that's not a question for us. I think you could probably send that question to support and get an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. They probably haven't decided themselves.
They may not have figured that. Yeah, that may be just a small minor thing. So much. Like...
Yeah, but with it being developed, I feel like they would know at this point. With the F7A being done or made, I feel like they would know.
Next question from Xylo. Are you going to try and make it to CitizenCon this year? Work.
No, I'm no. I can't afford to go to Germany. I can't afford to go to Germany for a 1-day event.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I was gonna like Gamescom would be cool. Maybe I would put up like a fucking donation goal or something like that for some like a 5-day event like that. But the CitizenCon is so hard to justify because you're literally there for a day. And it's not like there's anything going on around Frankfurt at the time. I would love to, but for me, that's too much. That's too much money.
I am planning to go to CitizenCon and Europe for.
Yeah, it's a lot easier for you.
It is this year. It's very much easier for me. And I said that last year that I would try and go, and I'm able to manage my anxiety significantly better than previous years. So I can't see why I wouldn't.
I have overcome my fear of flying though. This trip to Boston and PAX. Yes. So I don't think I talked to you guys much about it.
Oh, you talked. I was there. Remember?
No. Before when I left.
Oh, when you left.
So when I left the bar that night, and from that one like where they were doing the song request bar. Or whatever party, the Elgato party.
Yeah.
When I left, I went back to the hotel room and I watched videos on YouTube about fear of flying. and then the first day that I came back and streamed, there was actually a commercial pilot in the chat, and I took like an hour and just asked all the questions that scared me. Like, what did this sound mean? Why did he do this in this situation?
What's the video you watched, Boredgamer Guide on dealing with flight issues?
No.
Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen flight video.
But there were some really trolly videos that were like, oh, there's all these statistics that say it's so unlikely for you to die. Well, like I could still be a statistic, asshole. Like it's still a possibility. So that doesn't help me at all. But
those aren't troll videos.
The thing that like pilots sometimes will just idle the engines in the middle of flight. So, like one of the things that would scare me is that we'd just be flying and then all of a sudden the engines would get quiet. And I'm like, did they turn off? What happened? Are they broken? Did they die? You know, so now like you know that they do that to save fuel and it's not that big of a deal. And
you shouldn't be afraid of flying, Twerk. You should be afraid of crashing.
Exactly. Those statistics were ridiculous. But I think I'm over it. The last 2 flights were
cool.
I felt what was going on. I knew what was happening, and I was just like, okay, I'm good.
I like the fact you can logically change your own mind. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Next question's from Xylo for Twix17. Did you get a haircut? Looking slick, bro.
Thanks, dog. Appreciate it. I figured I'm going bald anyway, so it's time to just. Most of it's got to come.
At what point are you gonna just start pulling a Boredgamer and shaving your head?
I can't because I have like a flat head in the back. It looks ridiculous.
You're gonna.
I used to.
Well, it's that or Jesse Ventura. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not that bad.
There's
I
no
don't
in
have
between.
a good shape. I don't have a good shaped head. I mean, I'm gonna hold on to it as long as I can.
You don't have a good shaped head. I look like a fucking egg. Come on, man.
At least you're round.
It's just like you're not a lumpy potato, Twerk.
Do I have to show you the back of my head? Just goes flat.
No one needs to see the back of your head. Back of people's heads are weird. And if people come up to you and have a problem with the back of your head, they are the person at fault for being some fucking freak. Okay?
Yeah, I got a weird shape head.
Yeah.
So it's hard to justify going straight bald. Yeah.
I just started wearing a hat. Mr. Yellow says, it was awesome to see all the new stuff about space stations, but I wonder both if you think we will be able to, for example, go from Section A to Section B in Port Olisar, and if so, how interested would you be able to explore the inside of stations if we were able to?
Huh? I want to explore stations if I'm able to. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. How question bad you?
I mean, I get. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm kind of confused, but I don't understand the question.
It was okay. So it was cool to see the space station stuff. I wonder if you'd be able to go from Section A to Section B in Port Olisar.
Yep.
And if so, how interested would you be to explore the inside of stations if we were able to? We better be able to explore the stations.
And I really hope that we should
go
be
from
able to walk
port
from
A
section A to
to
B.
port B. Yeah, like all that.
Think about how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
To have to go into EVA to get to each one. That
Yeah.
makes zero sense for what a station would actually be. I think it's their intention for us to walk from strut A to strut B, and there be maybe shops in between or something, or an elevator, that a little tram that goes sideways, some shit like that. It makes zero sense from a real world and immersion perspective to just EVA from each pad. That's stupid. So I think Port Olisar is not going to be the Port Olisar, the Port Olisar endgame is not going to be the Port Olisar that we see today. It'll probably be very different and probably bigger and all that stuff. So,
It always gets bigger. Always gets made bigger.
And that is it for our questions. Twerk, what are you up to this week, and where can we find you?
Trying to figure my life out, especially my stream life. I don't know what the fuck to do these days. So one thing that I had been doing was playing that did really well on stream was the Walking Dead Telltale series. I started that, and we'll continue that. I think I'm probably going to play Mass Effect like once, twice a week maybe, because for fuck's sake, nobody watches. It's pretty bad. So the Walking Dead Telltale series, like, people watched, they enjoyed, they got immersed in, and it was fun. So those are the type of games that I'll probably play. And then if 262 comes out in the next little while, definitely pop in, play that a bit. See the Buccaneer. I'm pretty pumped about that. And then I think that's really it. Just my schedule is I'm adjusting it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any 8 a.m. starts. It's all straight 6 a.m., which is ideal. It's just coming home from work and being able to not go, wow, I'm so tired, I need to go to sleep. Instead of that, like going and cleaning the house or cooking or doing something else before the stream to keep myself going is something that I need to work on a lot more. So yeah, but that's what I'm up to. And you guys can find me here at twitch.tv/twerk17 and on Twitter at twerk17gaming. And YouTube, unfortunately, I don't have the time as much anymore. I'd love to do more YouTube videos, and maybe I will in the future, but as of right now, it's kind of quiet. It will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So working overnight's been really, really difficult to adjust to this time around. I'm really trying, but it's hard.
And Bored, what about yourself? What are you up to, and where can people find you?
People can find me at Boredgamer UK pretty much on all the social medias and the YouTubes and the even the Twitches, which I do occasionally do. I'm very bad at scheduling in streams, but I will be better. This week is going to be partly dependent on whether we get a wider PTU build for 2.6.2. Exactly what I do. Obviously, I want to do a walk around and play with the Buccaneer. I want to, it's available. I want to do a quick start guide and patch notes and stuff like that for 2.6.2. Update my user.cfg and performance guides for that as well if there's anything that needs to be changed. I do want to play through Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'll probably just be streaming that when I'm playing it. I'll be playing it. There's no particular set stream time. I'll be playing it, and I'll just be streaming it as I do it. Because why the fuck not? You don't want to watch that? Well, you're missing out because you miss out on my beautiful egg face. I'm also getting ready for I60 and BritizenCon, both of which are coming middle of April. So come down to that, either of those if you're around in the UK's. And yeah, I'm doing stuff with, like, I'm doing emotes on my t-shirts as well. I'm getting all my t-shirts done for my store because everyone has all this merch, and I'll be like, I want some of that merch YouTube monies. So I've been doing that as well. So shirts soon, and then you can have my face on your chest.
There you go.
Who wants that?
What's like, I have two eggheads for men or women. Yeah, tassels. What about you, Saurus? What are you up to?
I'm up to streaming after this. You can find me on twitch.tv/WTFosaurus and twitter.com/WTFosaurus. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by. Once again, this podcast is brought to you by Antlion Audio, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.